Thanks for clicking on to the Friday edition of Vogan's European Outlook. Of course, all eyes on the emergence between Maria and Lee. Of course, a lot of hype by the media in recent days with regards to a hurricane making landfall in the UK. Of course, we all know, if you have any kind of knowledge of meteorology, that that is not the case, and a lot of the hype that the newspapers do throw out is garbage. We know that from previous years, of course, whether it be 100-mile-an-hour hurricanes making impact on the UK, or the worst winter in 100 years is coming to the UK. We know what is plausible and what is not plausible. But I do urge you to read the written post today, which looks more at the interaction between the tropics, the middle latitudes, and of course the UK weather pattern overall. But we do watch for the potential for particularly wet and windy spell during Sunday. We had a frontal system pushing through last night. That's associated with a reasonably deep area of low pressure to the south of Iceland that is lifting out. We could have some gustier winds in the south northwestern half of the British Isles from the southwest as we go through the day today and into tomorrow. Looking fairly decent tomorrow, but as we go into the period now coming up during Saturday and into Sunday, we get you notice here that Maria and Lee, there is nothing indicating that these systems are making any kind of impact. Yes, they've transitioned from tropical to non-tropical, extratropical, if you will. The areas of low pressure has, basically dissipated, but energizing this area of low pressure to the south of Iceland, that is the key thing that I want to bring to you. That although we're going to have low pressure, we are going to have potentially wet and very windy conditions for a time on Sunday. Uh, this is basically Lee and Maria energizing an already formed area of low pressure that was over the North Atlantic. So it's not these systems transitioning into baroclinic low pressure that is directly making an impact on the UK. It is basically some of the energy, the leftover recycled energy that was once Maria and Lee, that's fueling this area of low pressure that's approaching the northwest of Scotland here. So that is very, very important to remember. And like I say, we could have, with the deepening going from 980 odd millibars down to the nearly 970 millibars to the just to the southeast of the Faroe Islands, we're going to potentially get caught in the strongest winds associated with this area of low pressure to the south side of the system that is going to make impact, particularly so across the northern half of Scotland. Doesn't look as if it's going to bring the strongest winds into the central belt, but we are going to have, for a period of time, some pretty wet and windy conditions during the day on Sunday. That system eventually lifts out. We've got a bit of a north south divide, high pressure over the southern part of the UK, low pressure over to the north. Fairly windy conditions, if you notice here. We've got a kind of southwest to northeast elongated Azores ridge of high pressure. You've still got a fairly strong jet, and you've got systems here that is getting caught in this southwesterly airflow here across a long fetch of the Atlantic. What we're going to see is low pressure pushing across the northern half of the UK. So this is a spell of enhanced wet and windy unsettled weather as we open the month of October. But I just want to make it very, very clear exactly what we're looking at here. We're not looking at a hurricane. We're looking at the recycled energy from once Hurricane Lee and Maria that is going to make impact, enhancing and fueling an already established area of low pressure to the northwest of the British Isles here. So you can see here that we maintain a fairly unsettled north to south divide in weather. Then as we push towards next weekend, yeah, a long way out of course, but it looks as if high pressure tries to establish itself more over the UK as opposed to the southern side of the UK. But it doesn't last long. More wet and windy conditions, especially across the northwest of the British Isles, will have impact. Watching this tropical feature here as we go forward, and that looks as if it kind of gets caught up. We do have a big upper level circulation here at this time as we push towards the middle part of October. But of course, this is the GFS comes out several times a day, and we are going to see chopping and changing. This is Fantasyland at 384 hours, of course, we know that. So that's it for today. Expect a pretty reasonable day through the latter half of today, during Saturday, and then we'll see the increase in wind and rain during the day on Sunday. And we will continue to see that through the course of the early part of next week. Hope you have a great Friday, have a great weekend, and I'll see you again next week. Bye for now.